Hi everyone, welcome to The Wife of Caesar. My name is Michele Bien, or Michele Bien, either is fine. As you know, The Wife of Caesar is Striner's project to talk about corruption or anti-corruption using words that everybody can understand so that we can fight corruption in our day-to-day lives with just a little bit more than good intentions. Now, today we get to talk about the news, and we will discuss Miss Isabel Dos Santos. Now, this is her right here, expertly drawn, and she is the daughter of this guy right here, who is the former president of Angola. Angola, as you might know, is a South African or country in the south of Africa, located right about here. And essentially, the Dos Santos family was the ruling family in Angola for several years. Now, Miss Dos Santos is regarded as the wealthiest woman in the African continent, with a calculated net worth of $3 billion US. So quite a bit of money. And that money was presumably obtained via corrupt acts and as a result of the power, brokerage, and relations that her family had in Angola. What transcended in the news this week was the Portuguese judge, Carlos Alexandre, my apologies, this should be Judge Carlos Alexandre, issued an order for the seizure of assets and the injunction of several operations that were being carried out or that were about to be carried out by Ms. Dos Santos. Now, asset seizure essentially means that a judge or the court, the government, takes control of your stuff or takes control of your operations. And in this case, this came about as a result of mutual legal assistance, which is a mechanism that countries use to collaborate in criminal investigations, and in this particular case for investigations on corrupt acts. Now, think of it this way. Let's say that a country wants to find a corrupt actor, a bad actor that fled the country, and then they have located this person or their assets in a different country. Then they reach out to the government of that country and they ask for their help. And the way they do this is through a mechanism known as mutual legal assistance. It is far more efficient than signing a treaty and working outside the boundaries of such mechanisms. Now, the operations being enjoined or being stopped by the judge are the sale of several assets that are owned by or controlled by Ms. Dos Santos. Among them, the sale of assets, essentially stock, in Eurobic, a European development bank in which Ms. Dos Santos owns or controls around $200 million US, and the sale of assets in FSEC, an engineering company, private company, in which Ms. Dos Santos controls around $220 million US. So yes, quite a wealthy, powerful woman. And what she was trying to do is put these assets for sale or place these assets in the market in exchange for cash. So she wanted to cash out her operations or her holdings in these companies. Now, the Portuguese judge in question issued an injunction on the sale, and that means that by a court order, the sales have to be frozen or stopped. The sales cannot be carried out until the judge allows them to happen. Of course, Ms. Dos Santos has not directly, but using social media and acting through her attorneys, has disparaged this judicial order and has said that she will eventually issue or participate in appeals. Now, you might remember the Dos Santos family from the scandal that came about as a result of the Luanda leaks. Now, the Luanda leaks were an operation carried out by the same consortium of journalists, the International Consortium of Journalists that brought forth the Panama Papers and the Paradise Papers scandal. So essentially, investigative journalism at its best, evidencing acts of corruption. The crimes for which Ms. Dos Santos is being charged are money laundering, so essentially taking the proceeds of crime, dirty money, and passing it off as clean money, as legitimately earned money. Second, trafficking in influence, which is essentially the same as bribery, but instead of receiving in exchange something of value, you receive the relations, the private personal relations that you have with someone. So you use the sway or the power or the relations that you have with someone to obtain something improper. Negligent administration is essentially the administration of government in a negligent fashion. So essentially, when presidents or heads of state do something wrong, they can be charged in Angola for negligent administration and counterfeiting documents, so essentially falsifying official documents of the Angolan government. And to date, we do not know, the authorities do not know where Ms. Dos Santos is, even though she's quite a public figure. She is speculated, she is believed to be either in London, Dubai, or Russia, but nobody knows for certain where she is. She will definitely surface relatively soon to, participate in the appeals process for this court order, but it is very likely that she will appear via her attorneys and not personally, so we can only speculate for now. Obviously, as soon as we hear of any developments in the case, we will let you know. And that is it for today. Thank you for joining us. And as always, please blow the whistle. Please denounce every act of corruption you encounter, but do so safely. If you're not sure whether or not what you're looking at is an act of corruption, or you're not entirely sure that your safety is guaranteed, don't do anything, refrain from acting, and reach out to people who might be able to help you. Feel free to reach out to us at info@striner.mx, and we will be glad to assist you in any way we can. But above all, please stay safe. Again, this was The Wife of Caesar. My name is Michele Bien, or Michele Bien, either is fine. And you have a happy Friday.